I mean, why do they even give us options at this point? They know what this is for.
I want it to be like when I walk into my local ice cream shop and they're like, "Oh, you're back again? All right, we got pre-made because they always come at 2:34 p.m."
Anyway, like Valentine's Day, second grade. You know how that's like at least in America anyway, it's an age-old tradition of,
I wonder if it is
well,
international, if it's just here.
it's probably not age-old either because I don't know how long-standing the actual holiday is and like how it was traditionally. We kind of grew up with the whole like participation trophy thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they still do this in schools because it just seems a little old-fashioned even for the time. Everyone makes, well, actually they buy custom Valentine's Day to and from cards, usually with like a little silly message and like probably candy. Everyone makes their own special little Valentine's Day box, and everyone gets one. At least they're supposed to. Here's where the sad story comes in. I recall only getting like one. It wasn't even a card. One year. Yeah, I mean, most years were fairly standard. What I got was a box of those generic heart-shaped candies.
The chalky ones?
The chalky ones that have like prints on them. And the box was shaped like an iPod.
Oh, man.
And it
Harsh.
it didn't have fucking like writing on it. It was just that, and it had like these like paper earbuds coming off of it. And I want to say it was from the instructor or the teacher.
What? I mean, that is a very adult thing to do, but that's like a thing a parent pulls, and then they give you a real gift.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't even a fucking card, which I'm no stranger to isolation.
Being left out.
Strictly on Valentine's Day. At the time, it was pretty crushing. And I remember just like the car ride home felt like an existential crisis. Because I just remember like looking at it in my hand, like it wasn't even a fucking real iPod. And I don't even think I liked the actual candies themselves. Some people prefer them, but they don't add like any additional flavoring like other chalk candies like Smarties or something.
It's just sugar.
It's just sugar, and it's not enough sugar to really taste like anything.
Nah.
There were other years that I remember, like, they kind of made up for it. Like, they were creative, custom messages that probably their parents wrote, like, the night before. But that one stuck with me for whatever reason. So I thought I would share it.
Yeah, you kind of unlocked a memory from me because there was one year, probably like first grade, maybe kindergarten, early on, because I don't think my elementary school did this that much, but there was definitely one year where we did a similar thing of like, you bring in at least one to give, and like some people brought several, and you give them to whoever your Valentine is. Like, oh, like the kids are being cute. Oh, yeah. And then I just didn't get one from anybody.
Man.
And it was like everybody's supposed to get one, but you can't really regulate that unless the teacher was giving stuff out, and they weren't.
Especially if like yours sounds a little more like adult, like rough and cut. Like, there are winners and there are losers. but mine, we weren't fucking learning. We had nothing else better to do.
It taught me early on.
Luke learned a different walk of life. We had like parties bi-weekly. It took up so much time. And I remember, because it's a very small school, the nice thing about that is you get more individual attention. You get to know your teachers on a personal level. Like, I remember, like, some birthday parties when I wouldn't know who to invite, my mom would just pick for me, and she would, like, invite the teacher. So it was weird seeing teachers at my birthday parties.
I never had that, I don't think. That's interesting, though.
I've been thinking a lot about Oompa Loompas recently. I didn't know if I wanted to bring this one up on the podcast either, but do you know about the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience?
I just heard about that, and it's the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah. So, I mean, fucking way to go, I guess, for entrepreneurialism as a way to like rope in money. But
they could have made that much money though.
Well, I think he ended up having to refund it all recently.
Probably
like the latest update, but
I hope so.
He probably did get away with a little bit more. You know the whole fucking unknown dude part of it?
Unknown dude?
So, you know how...
I didn't hear, like, the whole story. I just heard kind of bits and pieces of it.
I'll give you basically, like, the extra lore on top of the... So, yeah, in Glasgow, there's this dude who wanted to, I guess, give local children a Willy Wonka experience, like Mr. Beast.
Going off of the Wonka movie.
Yeah. but off of like a regular person's budget. and going off of the Wonka movie, I don't know.
Go dumpster diving behind the Disney.
Yeah. I don't know if he was sponsored by, I don't know, like a major corporation that owns the rights to Willy Wonka or something, or the book author, but...
Or if he just called it that and hoped to get away with it.
So he used, basically the extra detail is that he used ChatGPT to come up with the advertisements.
I heard about that.
And like a lot of the character roles, apart from like the regular but like the scripts were written by ChatGPT, as well as this original character called the Unknown, which like that dude is just in like a generic Halloween mask, but his whole job was to scare the shit out of children. Like they introduced him on the experience, and then like you could see on like the Inside Edition footage of it, it's like this cloaked, he looks like a Dementor. He's like cloaked with like a generic like chrome Halloween mask, and they're like, and then the guy playing Willy Wonka is like, "Oh no, here's the Unknown," and he just like creeps out. That's so fucking creepy.
That is very creepy.
And then the kids just like start crying, and then he's like, "You can't run from him. He can go through walls." like, what were they thinking?
There's no escape. Say your prayers.
Say your prayers. Pray to whatever god you believe in.
Because
you know about the one jelly bean thing?
Was it one?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a few at least.
Just one.
Because one of the people who was staffed by him was told, like, at the end of it, give out a quarter cup of lemonade and, like, jelly beans.
A quarter cup of, I think it was limited of one jelly bean. For 850 people who...
Oh, that's how many people went through?
850 adults. So I don't know how many children that included.
Probably, like, at least one kid per, and sometimes two or three.
But that's, like...
That's a pretty good turnout. For that?
Like, yeah.
For that.
Probably the entire, like, youth population of the town.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That shit is crazy. 2024 is coming out, like,
swinging.
Red hot. But I've been thinking a lot about it, because it's fucking... The Oompa Loompa actress is, like, trending right now. Because of her, her reaction, and it just looks like a meth lab. People are already making, like, animations and fan art. And she just looks like totally like dead inside.
Which, not really much fault to her, because if you're in that situation, how much heart can you have?
She's doing her best, but also like, I guess they don't have the maintaining standards like Disney does. Like, you know, always look happy. It gives some real fucking amazing Digital Circus vibes to me.
Yeah, a little bit. Have you seen any of the pictures from it?
Yeah.
Heart crushing.
It's like the fucking like shower tent maze or shower curtain maze
that has like a couple mirrors in it,
which is like the only activity I think. Like
you can take pictures with this backdrop that's 2 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like even though with that being like the only, well, I guess interactive activity, because everything else is like a performance, right?
Yeah, like you walk through, you see something.
Yeah.
The little like rainbow bridge to nothing.
Yeah, to the back half of the warehouse. I like how, like, in all the pictures, though, there's, like, staff on duty, like, for probably the regular operation of the warehouse, and they're just, like, getting caught working halfway through the photos and stuff.
There's kids looking in a pipe. And that's it.
Regular-ass pipe.
There's no lighting. It was just window lighting.
I wish I could show you the Unknown, dude, because that shit, that feels, like, excessive. If it makes it feel like the creator of that whole, like, experience does not like children. Like, and he's like trying to punish children for something.
Can you remember how much it was like per person to get in?
$40 per
$40,
which is insane, especially
because there's like 30 something pounds.
Not in the U.S., right?
I was just looking up the escape room thing, because we were talking about maybe doing an escape room with Kai when he was here.
Yeah.
And the weekend that he'd be here, well, on weekends, is like $45 per person. That's a little expensive.
Yeah.
But that's such a better experience. For $45.
So anyway, like Oompa Loompas though, they've been on my mind since that, because with the new Wonka movie coming out, there's a lot of like controversy going on with the whole like concept of them, because even the original movie, there's these undertones that they are slaves and they were kidnapped from like their homeland,
because they're like a specific race of people that is being used as like free labor for this one person,
but like
this one tall white man.
and he's like, you know, an industrialist. Probably was born during like the 30s or so.
Yeah.
it begs the question.
Put into wealth.
And he has a musical number about don't ask any questions. They're happy to be here. It feels like a lie, and it feels like a joke of the time. And to be honest, I do find it pretty damn funny. but have you ever seen the first draft of the book?
No.
So they're not Oompa Loompas in the first draft.
Oh.
They are African pygmies.
Okay.
Like, they're an actual people that he enslaved. And the NAACP did not take kindly to that upon review. And so they demanded that he had to change it to Oompa Loompas. Which he did not do much to change that. He just gave them green hair and, like, where they're from is a fictional place. So, you know.
So it's okay now.
Yeah. Do you know about the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka movie?
Yeah.
It came out in like 2006 or 7.
I think I saw that one.
So that one, the whole goal was to be different from the original. They leaned back more into the book. I don't know if they're doing it out of irony or like purely for satire. Partially, it's still, they're from Oompa Loompa land. There's a flashback scene where Johnny Depp is dressed up as a younger Willy Wonka with like a machete and like a safari uniform. And he's like slicing through the jungle. And he finds them, and they're worshiping the cocoa bean. And then he does like this weird interpretive dance thing,
and takes them.
And he makes some kind of it's implied that he makes some kind of a deal with them, but like, you know, it doesn't. That
if you
doesn't
come with
totally.
Me, I'll spare your life.
It doesn't totally add up later. Do you want to live and never see the light of day at my factory again? Anyway, yeah, I know I didn't organize any of those thoughts very well, but Willy Wonka, shit is whack, and we still just like act like it's totally chill. There's like skits about Willy Wonka all the time. Mr. Beast is fucking cashing in on the whole, you know, Mr. Beast bars or whatever. I might be a little bit late to the game on that. That's probably been around for a while now. But
oh, like he's parodying the chocolate bars?
He's doing a real life like Willy Wonka thing with whatever the brand.
Oh, okay.
So that was the whole, like, he made a video on it where he made his own like chocolate factory, and it was based on these real chocolate bars that he's selling that I'm sure the little kids are just eating up right now. And he did the golden ticket thing.
Oh my god, Mr. Beast, my favorite guy.
Miso beef.
What? Miso beef?
Miso beef. It's him. It's miso beef.
I don't know if I can keep that one in.
It's so fucking stupid.
Is that from something?
It's
from your mouth.
It's from me. That's all that matters.
Okay.
I'm sure that is from something.
That's gonna stick in my head for way longer than it deserves to.
It's just weird to me that like that's like totally untouched. I feel like there's probably 1,000,000,001 ways. I think they did it with Alice in Wonderland to make it kind of more digestible to a modern audience. The Disney Alice in Wonderland live action movies are kind of like a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons type thing going on. And it's based on the source material, but like they've adjusted it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that happens a lot with movies that are meant for especially a young audience, where they take old stories and they make them happy and enjoyable and good.
Yeah.
And well-intentioned.
And you know what? It's like for different reasons entirely. I do enjoy the original movie. Like
it's my favorite one. For specifically,
it's funny as shit to me.
Sticking to its guns.
The commitment.
Yeah.
That based Giga Chad of a
Sigma
movie.
grind set.
Sigma grind set.
How else are you gonna run a factory?
He fucking found a way. The American cycle of chocolate. That was the only topic I brought today. I just wanted to talk about that. Get off my chest before I die. There's a whole like subreddit. You're like, oh, here we go. Of fan theories and I guess general interpretations of like the themes going on for Breaking Bad. And I got lost in that shit because I was going on a internet exploration.
How much is there to interpret?
There are literally like URLs for more paragraphs embedded within the subreddit, just in comments alone.
Like they write a full page essay and then there's like, here's my whole blog based on this.
The subreddit seems to have like a lot of reoccurring themes. Like the common one is the use of color in the show. Every character seems to have this distinct color code that sort of changes over time, and it's a reflection of their character. Like,
okay,
Marie always wears purple.
And what is that supposed to represent?
Somehow, like, I don't know, like her passion / pride / I don't know, maybe anxiety about what's going on.
Purple is a royal color, so maybe it's like she thinks of herself as higher up.
She does, yeah, I mean,
that could be part of it.
There's a lot that like tends to like line up as like a general thing, people's colors, with the exception of Marie, kind of change over time. Like Jesse starts out as wearing a lot more red, and as he kind of gets like more mature and like he's seen some shit, it fades to black, and he's always wearing like leather and stuff. But like his car was red in the beginning. He was wearing these like sweatshirts all the time. He was calling himself Captain Cook. Walter White seems to have started out wearing green, and some people think it's because of like the science thing, or maybe it's like symbolism for his like need for money.
Well, he also starts out thinking that he's healthy, and then once he realizes that he has cancer, maybe that's when the green fades away because he's not healthy anymore.
So
green is a sign of prosperity.
There's quite a few things going on too, and he seems to do a pattern of colors of a general trend towards red. Because by the end of the series, he's like wearing regular dark clothes that don't seem to have some kind of correlation, but during like the height of his like criminal activity, he's wearing red, deep auburn colors, more, I guess, robust patterns. Like his confidence is there, and he's like a totally different person. But everyone seems to have their personality color things going on. And that's just like surface level stuff too, because there's a lot of stuff in the subreddit that talks about, you know, about the Fly episode.
I remember the Fly episode. That shit was funny as hell. But I have no idea what significance it had.
So that's the thing, is like there's an entire like
people dove into it.
Yeah, people are trying to dissect the Fly episode.
What could the Fly episode be about?
I guess just skimming through it, it's kind of symbolism for like the fruitlessness of what they're actually doing. Walter White, up until like a little bit before his death, is adamant that everything he's doing is like for the well-being of his family. But you kind of see a little bit more of his background and his personality, and he's a very ego-driven person. And
like he doesn't accept help. He does it all for himself.
He doesn't accept help. He resents anyone who does have like qualities that are better than him or like is becoming better. And so he like tears down Jesse even after Jesse's like, you know, I don't even want the money. I just want like a happy life. I want goodwill for everyone else. And like he resents that. So like the symbolism is kind of like the reaction to the situation that they've kind of put themselves in. And the Fly is like, you know, this impossible feat that they'll never really get to until the very end, when like Walt ends up being the one to, you know, to do it when Jesse is like passed out and exhausted himself, because it's just not worth it to him. There's a whole lot of like other crazy ass theories, like they were in like a meth-induced coma for like the entirety of the second half of the series, or like he's like knocked out and he's having a dream of all this shit. And it's like I don't fucking know. Honestly, I really don't care. Like I think it's nice that there's symbolism in it, but at the end of the day, I guess you have to have an appreciation for it. Like I would have liked the book Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. I was just thinking about that too. I was like, is there a book with it?
I'm sure there's some kind of a novelization of it.
Yeah, but that would come after.
Yeah.
I still remember when I first saw that episode, because I might have heard the name of it, like the joke around it, but I didn't know much about it at first. So when I was watching through the series for the first time, or like part of it, and I got to that one, I was like, what the hell is going on?
It's so weird that like it went down in infamy as being called the Fly episode. I think the official name is like Extermination.
It's such a switch from the normal tone of the show.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston, I have to give him credit. He's a phenomenal actor. Actually, the entire cast, I think they're great, but he has this like way of like really showing vulnerability. Walter White is supposed to be this really closed off. He's stewing in his own anger, and he won't just let anyone help him. But then, you know, sometimes he'll actually just kind of like boil over, and especially to Jesse, because it seems like that's the only person he trusts.
Well, he's the only one who knows his secret, at least from the beginning.
Yeah. But even like his wife does not want to talk to her.
I think it's funny how so many people call Skylar the villain when clearly she's just kind of being trailed along by this evil man.
Yeah, he's horrid, and he gets worse, and like people give her shit for like I fucked Ted, but like
that's so minuscule in comparison. Like that's bad. That's not good.
Yeah, he fucking himself flirts.
Yeah,
like with like multiple women, and like he also has fucking killed people, like
directly and indirectly by like selling very terrible drugs to people.
Yeah. Like I think her having an affair purely out of spite because of that is hardly the problem. Now, granted,
honestly, respect to it.
She's a rancid bit. I'm just kidding. But it seems like the whole kind of like general theme is that nobody's perfect in that show, because
oh yeah, for sure.
It's called Breaking Bad, and you kind of see there's not a single person in that show that doesn't even commit like a small crime. Every human is not like a superhero.
Yeah, it's a very human show, like show every side of a person.
Yeah. Which, I mean, once you've seen it like once or maybe like twice, then you've really kind of seen all it has to offer. But I think it has a lot to be appreciated for.
Every once in a while, I'll see a meme of some sort that has dude from American Psycho when he's walking down the street with the headphones on.
Yeah.
And and the caption is like something, you know, making you feel like a badass, like you're the main character type of thing.
Yeah.
But he's like a murderer, or at least in his eyes, he's a murderer.
Well, it seems like the whole fucking, I don't know that we've talked about this on the podcast yet, but we have this like continuous, like we make fun of the weird ass Andrew Tate community, like the Sigma, the self-proclaimed Sigma, which, by the way, that does not even fit the definition of a Sigma person, which implies that they're like isolating and they're like all by their lonesome, like they're the lone wolf. But if they're giving each other advice and they exist as a community, then that's the fucking opposite of it.
I have no idea. I just hear the word and I hear a bunch of people saying that they are it.
I'm just like constantly shitting on them because it's this group of what I assume is our incels that take it seriously, and then also there's like memes about it. And weirdly enough, my original point, they idolize Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Or I don't know, maybe it's a meme to them too. I don't know, but
I'd hope they at least are self-aware of that. Don't be that.
It's weird that they don't realize like two important things. First of all, a lot of them tend to trash women, like in that community. They don't realize that movie is directed by a woman as a satire about them.
Yeah. About the people that think they're all that.
And about like the 80s kind of materialistic sort of boom, which that community seems to kind of float around a little bit too, because they're always like hoping for success. It seems like is the big
financial
motto.
Superiority.
Yeah,
that whole scene where they're like trying to show off their codes, their business codes, and like I have to have the best code.
That seems to be like the personality that they idolize Andrew Tate. I don't know if you know like who that is, but
I've seen a couple clips of him saying something and then he gets trashed online.
Yeah, basically his whole thing. Do you know the big thing he did like that kind of made him earn his reputation with the whole like, so he's kind of a professional scammer. He had this thing that he called like the fucking Andrew Tate boot camp or something, where they just take like incel weenies and they're supposed to straighten them out and turn them into like testosterone giants that are financially successful. Which is total fucking horse shit, because you pay him like $400 a month and he doesn't even live in the same country, and like he sends not a double but like a representative.
So he's not there.
Yeah, he's not even there. And he's supposed to give you like direct advice in a Discord. He doesn't meet with you in person, or it's not in like a classroom or something. He has somebody who claims to be, it's a pyramid scheme. It's a fucking pyramid scheme. But like,
ain't a damn good one.
Yeah, which I guess by the very definition, he did pull it off. Like, if you can get enough people to do it, which apparently he did. I don't know. Maybe he was born into money. Maybe it's Maybelline. But he's always like flashing his like cool cars and shit. And I think even when he went to prison for financial fraud, he's still like doing push-ups on film. Like,
he stuck a phone up his ass.
Shit is hilarious. I don't know how he does it, but if he was doing it as a joke, he would immediately be my favorite comedian. The sad thing is he's totally serious, and so are his followers.
If it like came out though as like it was all a joke, I don't know if I would even believe him.
At this point, he's gone too far.
He'd be the only one that could laugh at it.
Not to get too real for a second, but like I do feel fucking
Christians though.
Christians, religion. I do feel fucking bad for people that genuinely buy into that shit, because it's probably like a mix of like 17, 18-year-old boys or other iterations of being, I don't know, who like seem to think they're the shit, or you know, they feel some kind of invalidity at home, and like, you know, they turn to people like that who
like they want a figure that they can look up to and try to become.
Yeah, which, I mean, you know, it's just a poor choice of an idol, because that dude is totally trying to fucking rip you off.
I also do feel bad for that because it's like it's probably a lot of kids that dealt a bad hand growing up and want something better, and they find something that seems ideal, but they don't realize what's going on with it.
Because it's like they haven't had like real world experience yet to find out. It's just like people are just people. But I would feel even worse if it was like a comprehending adult. They're just in a really low point, and this is like their way out. Because that's like trying to get out of a hole by digging deeper.
Yeah. Our message is, if you're a loser, it's okay, because we're losers. We're playing Mario Kart on a podcast.
Talking about how other people who aren't us are suckers.
For like 16 people to listen to.
Yeah. I have to keep telling you, man, if you would join my Discord and pay the money.
Support us on Patreon. And OnlyFans.
Now that is a way to drum up business.
Dude, if we had a joint OnlyFans.
A joint Sometimes you, sometimes me, sometimes both. But never guests.
They wouldn't get it. We could have Kai on. Kai's on the podcast, Kai's on the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to spread with the internet nowadays.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just hoping that one of my shitty TikToks blows up and gets me canceled or something.
YouTube apology time?
Yeah.
What
I'm not going to apologize. Whatever I say.
Sticking by it to the very end?
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember if I made a TikTok in a short off of it. I feel like I was thinking about it and I decided not to. In a video where I was playing Mario Kart, I'm talking about Daisy because I'm just like gawking over or something. And I'm like, Daisy, look at that hair. Look at the fucking, it's fabulous. How long do you think she spent on that hair?
2 hair.
And then I say, oh, actually, she probably like has her servants do whatever. But whatever. Like servants, slaves, it doesn't matter. She gets it done. Should I say that?
Well, same thing. But you kept all that in.
I kept that in the main video that I knew few people would watch. It was really a toss-up if I make a TikTok off of it.
Well, you can always hide it and bury it deep down later if it ever does blow up. Get put on the fucking Brain Leak podcast, for example.
That would be great.
Claim to fame.
If I could be famous for saying something completely insensitive.
That's the modern version of what like people used to do at like Super Bowl in like the 80s to get attention, which is like just undress and run across
just goes
the field.
Everybody knows me for being the asshole.
Yeah. The 56th person to do this.
And I got shot in the head. And now I'm in heaven.
Shot in the head. They used to take that shit super seriously.
Yeah. You know what my favorite like sports game interruptions are? When there's like a dog that somehow gets onto the field. And just takes the ball and like goes away.
Has that ever happened?
It happens sometimes. I see videos online about it. Just like,
why do people bring their dog to the Super Bowl?
I don't know if it's like a team member had it like in the back somewhere and it accidentally got out, like when nobody was watching the door or something. Or if people brought it into the stadium.
But it's fast enough to get the ball that like all the human athletes are fighting over and like get away with it.
Yeah, and then everybody's chasing the dog around.
Why don't
scores for the team, runs away.
Another ball for that shit. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but like they have to get the dog off the field.
Yeah, he just wants to play.
The biggest game of catch it's ever seen. That's what my TikTok is.
I haven't been on TikTok in a little while, but I'm sure there are like entertaining ones than what it used to be. I don't know. It's probably been around for a little while, but I remember TikTok as just being like silly dance trends.
Yeah.
And then like just brainless shit.
Well, it started out as a Musical.ly, so that kind of was its beginning of people lip syncing and dancing.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing for a while. But yeah, now it's just video sharing platform.
Yeah. It just turned into like instantaneous like Vine /YouTube / I'm sure there's still music shit on it.
There's a channel that just posts full SpongeBob episodes.
Like one TikTok at a time.
Yeah, like in their entirety.
SpongeBob for free.
I don't know if it gets like claimed or something after a certain point.
If I would have,
I don't know how TikTok works.
If I wanted to watch SpongeBob, I would have to like pirate that shit.
Yeah, I'll catch you one day, Batman.
What are you doing?
Just going backwards.
Got a little meme, Batman.
Let's see if I can catch up now. If I can catch up, then you got a mustard.
Then I got a mustard. Oh, haha.
It was the best joke in the world. How could you not recognize it immediately? Just kiss me already.
I'm feeling romantic. It's too late for that shit, man. I don't understand sarcasm.
Especially at 9:30 p.m.
It's practically my bedtime. It's definitely, I'm not doing the shit I have to do tomorrow time.
Yeah. I do my best work at 3 a.m.
One Dr. Pepper is not enough to keep to stop me from going to sleep.
Let's get a second one.
Hell yeah.
Bodies.
Well, eventually.
Warning, warning. Luke is about to drink his soda real fucking gross. So if you don't like that, skip 15 seconds ahead or something. Okay, bye. Fuck.
Okay.
Yes, a little bit more Dr. Pepper.
What do you mean? Yeah, I just...
If I had them set up to like be left and right, we could do like binaural ASMR.
Braking doesn't happen like immediately in this one. I was just playing Mario Kart 8 today on the Switch, and like, especially when you play on 200cc, braking is like instantaneous. Just like you stop, go. And then this one, you have to write a letter 2 weeks in advance.
Well, this one I feel like is not made for you to brake that much. It's made to be like full speed if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Which for some of us works.
Some say.
But yeah, in 200cc in the Switch version in 8, you have to brake. You cannot be full speed around all those turns. It is impossible. Well, maybe it's possible. So I'm just gonna brag a little bit, not humbly, like full brag. I started out by backing up for like half a lap to let you guys get the full lead. And then within the subsequent 3.5 laps I had to do to catch up.
There's nobody else here, man. You could just say me. You don't have to.
I'm not even saying AI. Just you, because like you're in 5th place overall. You hold your own. I just want to say that for me, that was impressive. I'm the greatest.
But how impressive?
I am basically the Sigma male on the grind set every day of my life.
Sigma male grind set. I like how you say it like it's like a fucking monogram.
Andrew Tate has got no shit on me.
More like Andrew
I'll fight him tomorrow if he wants to.
Dude, don't call him out like that. He tends to respond.
Andrew Tate, if you're listening to the What We Usually Do podcast right now, I want to issue an official challenge for an MMA match where you will murder my every bone.
I'm trying to think of like, I'm pretty sure somebody called him out and he made like a video basically as like a response. Like, oh, you want to go? His insecure little man pussy started showing.
I don't even know that much shit about him. I can't really form that much of an opinion about him just because I don't know. I don't watch his stuff.
He just is like this sleazeball.
If me making a joke about that somehow gets his attention and he actually wants to fight, I would be tempted to take up the offer, even though I know he's a very physically imposing man.
He's physically fit. I don't know how physically imposing he is.
More than me. I'm skinny as hell.
I would be honored to fight Andrew Tate.
I would lose the fight for sure, but I mean, that'd be so funny. It'd be so funny.
I'd have my bets on you, man. You'd probably be fine.
I'm spry.
You're spry. You're a spryer, man. You can give him quite a licking.
I'll just get in there and kiss him. I'll never see it coming. He'll never see me coming. All right, anyway, next.
You'll never see me coming.
I don't know what his history with fighting is, but I've never been in a fight, so I don't know if
you have to remember, like, he has, like, an army of weenies behind him. Like, the threat is, like, how fast can you run after you beat his ass? Actually, they might just start worshipping you instead. Like, maybe it's a hierarchy thing. Once you take down the king, does it become your kingdom?
Or does it just fall and crumble to bits? Quote that. Put it in a black and white quote box with our dumbass faces on it.
A quote box?
Quote box, yeah. That's
Fuck!
I can't remember the name of it. You're in the lava.
I was doing good.
Stop being a little Andrew Tate pussy bitch and man up.
Sigma grind setting right now.
Sigma grind setting is now a verb. You could verbalize it.
I'm tired.
Have a little more Dr. Pepper.
Actually, you got me Coke. You like forced it down my throat. You and Dr. Pepper, man. I don't know what it is.
It does seem weird that there is like a huge craze around Dr. Pepper that seems to have started up semi-recently. I just feel like I hear a lot more people loving Dr. Pepper recently. I don't know why, because I really like it. It's one of my favorite sodas. But it's like the hot Cheetos thing. Like, people just started loving hot Cheetos for no reason. If you go to any store in the mall that sells clothes to the youth,
then it's hot Cheetos, like, as a brand.
Yeah.
It's so weird, though, that they adopt trends like that.
It gets them to sell stuff. People buy that.
I think it is. I mean, some of the shit is started by, like, markets, and then people just buy into it purely out of irony. Cause,
you might be right.
It's always a corporate thing.
Maybe people don't actually start these. Maybe it's like, we need to sell more clothes that the youth are going to buy because, like, they're not going to Hot Topic anymore. What can we advertise that people like? I don't know. We need something simple. People like hot Cheetos, right? They're like, all right. I prefer the jalapeno ones.
It's Cheetos, you know? Like,
yeah, Cheetos should be the thing because like people really like Cheetos. Everybody loves Cheetos.
But also like fucking, aren't there? That's like a no other options thing, right? I'm not dissing Cheetos, but if you don't have like a regular bag of chips or some more complete meal, then you turn to the Cheetos, right?
I don't know. Sometimes I seek out Cheetos. I have a craving for it sometimes.
Well,
I think it's a pretty well sought after snack.
like any other snack though, but like it's taking off at like warp speed when any other snack could have been like just as good. But
I feel like Doritos should have taken it, of anything. Like, that should be the persistent.
I mean, you would think they kind of have their own, like, they're sitting comfortably within like the Mountain Dew Halo Xbox world right now though. Like
That was more like kind of the last decade though. That's
like,
2010s, dude.
that is pretty 2010s. However, like, I still see it around.
Yeah,
like,
it definitely still exists.
The Xbox community is rapidly withering away, but they stand proud by their food of choice.
I want to see a shirt that has two like tall standing 2 liters of Mountain Dew side by side and crumbles of Doritos like looking like flames coming off of them, and it says "Never forget."
I just want to see like a fist clutch like a liter size of Mountain Dew, and they got the Dorito fingers, like it's just like stained orange,
Strongly clutching,
Yeah.
like and making dents in it, about to poke holes in it with their
it looks
sharp
like
fingernails.
It looks like an
arm.
arm wrestler's hand too.
That's what every Xbox player looks
It's
like.
what they live on.
Yeah.
Dude, I have people in my family that their food of choice is Doritos.
I honestly don't even prefer Doritos that much as a chip.
I'm not crazy about them either. I have boycotted them since I got food poisoning because they were the only other thing I ate, and I blamed them, but my mind won't allow me to enjoy them now.
Okay, despite you saying that, I'm gonna ask a question of what Dorito flavor do you prefer?
Cool Ranch.
Of like the main 2 or of all of them?
If it's not spicy tier, because like if it's spicy tier, I guess anything goes. But between the main 2, like nacho cheese, I presume, and Cool Ranch, I'm a Cool Ranch guy.
I am a Cool Ranch guy of those 2 as well, but my favorite of all time, which I initially didn't like, but grew on me over time, I don't remember what it's called because I haven't had it in a while, but it's the purple bag. It's like the
spicy, sweet
spicy chili or nacho chili, whatever it is. That is fantastic to me.
They're pretty good.
I would throw those down and chug Dr. Pepper all day.
They've amped those
Dr.
up
Pepper.
since then. I think they have like the 3D ones now that are like, it's basically a triangle Cheeto. Why is that untied?
Yeah, tied. All my cum is leaking out of this.
I just turned around and like, what? I thought there was some functional purpose behind that.
It is, because the zipper is broken, because I fucked it too hard.
Never trying to deny it anymore.
Yeah.
It untied? You couldn't think of a lie quick enough. So why is it untied?
I don't know. I guess I fucked it too hard.
If you have a story, I'll you can still work your way out of this. I'm a reasonable listening person.
I had a nightmare and I was tossing around in my sleep a lot. And in the nightmare, I
was eating my pillow.
When I woke up, my marshmallow was gone. And in the dream, I had to untie the marshmallow to eat the dog, and then I snapped its neck because I was Omega.
That is the dumbest joke I've ever fucking heard. I woke up and my pillow was gone.
I kind of like the inverse better. I was having a dream that I ate my pillow, and then I woke up and my giant marshmallow was gone.
Fucking God.
I got you to laugh with it the first time I told you, though.
It was all over my face and hands. Who told you that?
I probably heard on Game Grumps, like the place I hear everything else.
I woke up and my pillow was gone. I have this sound bite from Regular Show stuck in my head of Party Pete. I don't know if you remember that episode.
That name sounds familiar. What is Party Pete about?
I
know he's about,
the
but what's
episode
he
where
do?
Benson leaves and they're going to do a party at the park. You know, it's the trope of like, oh, the parents are out of the house.
Yeah.
We're
Time
gonna
to
tear
go
it down.
wild.
And they're like, you know, how do we make this like the best party ever? Since, you know, we have limited time.
Gotta get Party Pete.
So they hire Party Pete. And it turns out he's not actually like a real person named Peter who his specialty is making parties better. He's like an eldritch being that runs on party energy. And he just starts like absorbing the energy around And when they like try to get him to stop to leave, he turns around like a Resident Evil zombie, and he's like, "Stop! I do not want to." And then he goes like Super Saiyan. And then they have to fucking open up the cool ass like vintage soda and explode him.
That show is one of the shows of all time. I feel like we've also mentioned regular show more than a few times on this.
We probably have
this channel.
It's worthy of multiple mentions.
One per episode.
Like literally, a skipping gorilla is the most reasonable person in the entire universe, and he's already experienced everything.
He's already like arm wrestled death to save the universe or whatever.
Dude, and the fact that he was voiced by Luke Skywalker.
It is?
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Really? I did not know that it was Mark Hamill.
Voice. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Like,
that's a rough voice to go into because he does not have that voice naturally.
He doesn't. He has like the regular Luke Skywalker range, but he has a really like elastic voice that can go all the way up to the Joker. Because he also did the voice of the Joker.
I did not know that.
That's
impressive.
In the Batman animated series, he's the one that you think of like when you think of like the comic book Joker.
Yeah, that's cool. Good work, Mark. I can call you Mark.
He probably would let you. Like he sounds like an extremely cool guy. I've never met him at like a convention before, but I would love to. He has all the answers, just like Skips.
Yeah.
His voice for Skips is like eerily similar to his voice for Harrison Ford. Just like a little bit more gruff.
When he like does an impression of him?
Yeah. I mean, he does Harrison Ford's voice enough that there's some samples of it floating around. You know about the whole thing in the show where like his name wasn't always Skips, but he has this like dark and gritty backstory that how he got the name Skips. It used to be Walks.
Oh, that does spark a memory. I don't remember how it switched, but like now he has to skip for all time to. Was it his girlfriend that used to skip?
I think so.
And like he used to skip with her, and now he does that to honor her.
Yeah, I think it's like out of a curse too, or something. Like something bad will happen if he doesn't skip.
Yeah,
he's like living Reddit though. He just has all the answers. They're not always
because
right.
Reddit is the one to go to for answers.
They're not always right, but they are the answers.
They have something to say.
They have answers.
Whenever I think of Reddit, I can only think of a video I saw once of a man in a lathe accident.
Was that during like the 50-50 challenge, or was that just like
I just found that. Well, I don't remember what it was. I was probably listening to
like a hand lathe or like a full
full thing.
Oh my God.
For some reason, I was inspired to look up lathe accidents, and that was one of the ones that came up where his shirt. Okay, graphic content warning. We're not going to show anything, obviously, but like
describing it.
Yeah, I'm going to be describing what happens. And
lathe accident trigger warning.
For specifically that, he is just like working in factory alone. I don't really know what the fuck lathes are for, but like there's some part of it that is like a long rod that spins perpetually, and it's basically unstoppable.
They're for making basically like custom long shaped pieces of metal.
He is just like walking by it, and his hand is near it, and then his shirt gets caught in it.
What?
Like near the end of it.
Is it an actual like video, or is this like the training?
This is real. Security cam footage of him in the factory alone working with it. His shirt gets caught in it, and he's just like struggling with it for a while, trying to get it out. It's not letting him get it out though. And then his arm gets taken into it, like into the side of the machine.
Oh.
And it just keeps spinning because it's not stopping. And then he starts to get taken around it and just like starts spinning with it.
He's probably dead after the first rotation.
I mean, pretty fucking quick because his legs keep smacking the ground and parts of him start breaking off and like flying over the place. He spins really quickly after a certain amount of time. Like he's going with it. It's terrible. And it's in my mind forever. I saw that years ago. It's never going away.
Yeah, I can't imagine that ever would, because that's like actual Gmod physics in real life. That's fucking horrible. American manufacturing. I think the modern standard is like there's all kinds of safety features. Like I'm pretty sure there's some machines that like if you scream too loudly, they're set up so that like they have a response thing where they'll stop.
Mm-hmm. The one I think about with safety features is like the saws, the table saws that if you put your finger on it, it'll stop immediately.
Yeah.
This is semi-related with safety features. I saw a video of somebody testing out the Cybertruck, like Elon Musk thing. The trunk is supposed to like stop closing because it closes automatically if it's see something in the way. But they put a carrot out like near the corner of it to see if it would stop, and it just fucking chopped the carrot in half.
It doesn't see the corner.
No.
Have you ever seen the introductory video? I think it was back in like 2018 or so when the Cybertruck was coming out, when they're like doing all the promotional shit for it, where Elon Musk like has one of his employees take a sledgehammer and hit the door.
And it does.
And he's like, "It's perfectly fine, right?" And then and then he hits the window
and it fucking
fucking shatters.
Well, didn't it turn out to be a thing like the window wasn't supposed to be the thing tested?
So what had happened was it like cracked the corner, so it was already like slightly fractured when held out the first time, and then like they finished the job with the sledgehammer without knowing it.
And that was like on stage in front of a bunch of people, right? They were showing it off for the first model or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not like a college educated engineer or anything. I just think that's a shitty design for a vehicle.
You mean for the look of it?
The look of it, but also like it's stainless steel. I don't think they're painted. It'd be cool if they painted it, because then it would like be less rust.
Have you ever taken out Eggo waffles from the freezer and there was mold on them, but you thought they were blueberries? So you continue to cook and eat them, and then you realize it's not blueberries because they don't taste right?
No, I have not, but continue, because I presume this has precisely happened to you.
Me either.
No, I was just asking. It's
I've come close. Maybe I've taken a bite. Maybe I got that far.
Are you hesitant to admit your participation in that?
Listen.
I'm listening.
Shut up.
I don't buy Eggos.
Neither do I.
Not anymore. How did they get mold on them in a freezer? Must not have been a very good freezer.
Okay. I have something to admit.
Confession time.
This is not a personal experience. I saw a picture of this with a caption online somewhere of somebody that said they did this, and I wanted to see if anybody else had that experience by asking the one person that I talked to.
But why would they? Why would I?
And how could you?
Since the Steak and Shake incident, I don't trust food that wasn't prepared upon my request.
I mean, you gotta eat some amount of...
I eat garbage a lot, but it's usually sealed in a bag. I know it's not food, so it can't go bad.
Well, aren't Eggo waffles sealed in a bag? I guess if you, like, open it and take one or two out, and then you leave the rest of the bag in there for the next couple years.
Well, if they can get mold on them, it's got to be a little bit more... Like, it's probably just cornstarch loaded with a little bit of, like, cellulite, but...
Maybe they had it in the fridge instead of the freezer? Because it's supposed to go in the freezer, right?
That's yeah. They need to be frozen and then thawed.
Yeah, freeze them out. I was going to figure out a wordplay joke there, but I realized there was nothing.
I do that with steak a lot, but I only... so if I'm making dinner for myself.
Why does the steak have blueberries on it? I guess I'll cook it.
No, not... What was I thinking?
What was I thinking? I'm buying a steak with blueberries on them.
What were they thinking?
Get with it.
This steak is a bunch of poopy ass farts.
Covered in chocolate feces.
Covered in chocolate feces. I like how he's basically doing a parody of what started him on YouTube. just making like baseless claims about games that he enjoyed, I think, generally, and then is just like shitting on them for no reason.
Wasn't he like kind of serious about... We're talking about Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps and his sequelitis series that he did in early YouTube. Wasn't he like semi-serious about it? No, he worked in jokes there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he does honest reviews of them, but name a single sequelitis that he's done that like he doesn't like talk about the game all the time and how much he loves it, really. Like the sequelitis seems sort of like a gimmick. I'm not trying to break it down because I didn't fucking create it, but
you tell me you're not Aaron Hansen from Game Grumpu?
I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
Yeah, we're talking to that guy at the pawn shop.
That's like fucking Aaron if he didn't do Game Grumps. It's unbelievable. He's just as cool as him too.
Was he? No, not at all.
But before going to Game Grumps Live, it's the best we had. This guy just harassing this poor stranger. We didn't actually harass a stranger. Full disclosure, don't cancel us.
Well, he didn't. And I will make no further comment.
I did, however, subtly put him on exhibit for you to see though.
You came home.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
you're not gonna believe it.
Luke, wake up. You gotta wake up, Luke.
Dude, this is guy at the pawn shop, and he at the pawn shop, and and Hanson,
I'm like
and
slobbering all over.
Dr. Pepper. So you want to go to the pawn shop and see the Sam Hansen guy? I was like, sure, and I got that. I was like, he looks kind of like him, I guess.
I guess.
And then I probably like bought a Wii game or a knife or something.
Probably.
Well, anyway, bye. See you next week, and fuck you.
See you later.
Next week is gonna be better because we will have a new friend who will have something interesting to say. I'm sure. Kai, we have high expectations for you.